So in my time in the agency space, I've really seen it all, right? I've seen the majority of the reasons people quit, people switch business model, switch niche, switch service, like, they have shiny object syndrome. And also I've seen the majority of the reasons that people succeed, people do the right thing, right? And so in my time, I've really honed down the reasons people fail into 3.5 big mistakes. Okay, and I'll also explain what 0.5 means in a second. But before that, if you don't know who I am, I'm Matt. I built an agency and now I'm building a coaching business, basically teaching people what I do with the agency and still do with the coaching business. And really the whole goal with what we do is we help early stage agency owners hit and keep them up, okay? But as I said, I've got 3.5 mistakes here that are really the big things that people fuck up. So the first one here, I've actually got it explained in a LinkedIn post I just posted. So I'll read it out to you now. It's a recipe to kill your agency, okay? 1 cup of non-needle moving work, 1 nanogram of real excuses and real problems, and 100 kilograms of pain avoidance, right? So the first thing is pain avoidance. That is really, when you boil it down to the actual reason, the actual mistake people make is that they're moving away from pain, not towards it, okay? If you think about it rationally, you right now doesn't want you to become the new person that can succeed, right? So you right now is going to do everything in its power to stop you from doing the hard work. And so obviously you right now would make the hard work painful, right? The things that you actually need to do to move the needle forward. Let's say that you're an early stage agency owner in a local business niche. What do you need to do to move the needle forward? It's going to be things like sales calls, posting content, doing cold calls, and doing other forms of outreach, maybe learning a bit more, but not really. That's kind of like something you should be doing after you've done these main things, right? But these main things, let's say 3, cold calls, sales calls, posting content. You would have to be an idiot not to realize that these 2 things are the most needle moving, but also induce the most pain and the most fear in people. So to actually do the work and do the right work that moves you closer towards your goal, you have to be, instead of being pain avoidant, you have to kind of flip that and instead try to move towards pain, right? And this is obviously going to be hard to do because as like a response, like just evolutionary as humans, the whole reason we take any action is to avoid pain, right? So we kind of have to flip that on its head and realize when there's pain, it's actually a good thing and we want to be moving towards it. And so the way that we can do this is we can kind of split it into 2 segments. So there's actually 2 types of pain, right? The first pain is the obvious pain, like if I slap you right now, then that's pain, right? And that's pain that it makes sense to move away from that pain, right? Like I'm not telling you to seek pain, so you should cut your foot off. Obviously don't do that, right? There's just regular pain that serves no purpose, and obviously we should probably avoid that. But then number 2, there's growth pain, and this is the pain that you get when you're doing something hard, right? So for example, for sales calls, there's so much fear, there's so much nerves. Same for cold calls, same for maybe posting your first 2 videos. These are painful things, but the pain is being used, right? It's not like you're just cutting your arm off just to feel pain, right? That's not what we want to be doing. We want to define things that are needle moving, but also give us pain, right? And the easy thing about this is that we can kind of use pain as a compass, right? The things that give us the most pain, that aren't things like cutting your arm off, are actually the most important things you should be doing. Like I said, cold calls, posting content, sales calls, that type of thing, right? So if we can move towards that pain, we're going to also be just naturally moving forward the highest leverage, biggest, most needle moving work that we could be doing. So that's the first one. It's literally just moving away from pain instead of moving towards it. And number 2, before I get into it, I'm going to guarantee you that you probably have this in some sense, but you're just kind of like suppressing it and you're just kind of coping. It's delusion, yeah? And so what I mean by that is you're deluding yourself into thinking something is true, but it isn't, okay? So for example, let's say that you've been in the gym niche for a year and then you switch to, I don't know, roofing, right? And you make yourself believe that the reason you didn't sign any clients was because of your niche. Whereas if we look at it through objective reality, the gym niche is a great proven niche and you can sign clients in, right? So the issue wasn't the gym niche, the issue was you and what you were doing, right? So you kind of delude yourself to believe that, oh no, it's the niche. Even though like if you were being rational, you would know that the niche isn't the issue. You delude yourself into believing, oh no, it's the niche. If I just do this and if I do this other thing, then it's not my fault. I can just start with this new niche and it's gonna go perfect. And the reason we do this is actually, once again, pain avoidance, right? You don't want to kind of have to admit to yourself that for the past however long you were in the gym niche, you were just doing the wrong thing and you were fucking everything up, right? And you were like literally just like not doing the work. So you delude yourself, think, no, it's actually the niche and I was actually doing everything perfect, but it was just the niche that was the issue. No. And so for this, honestly, the thing that you need to kind of get over this delusion is an objective viewpoint. And so honestly, the best way that you can probably do that is by like joining some type of coaching program where you have a mentor who can like just accurately assess that, like what the fuck are you doing? Like obviously, if you are in the gym space and you literally did zero outbound, zero posting content, you literally didn't do anything, and then you switch niches, it's not really the niche's fault, is it? You just didn't do any work, right? So what you kind of need if you're in this situation, which like, first of all, you need to actually kind of accept that you might be in this situation, because 99% of people who are in this situation are just going to tell themselves that they're not. They're just going to delude themselves even further. And then once you've accepted that you might be in this state of delusion, what you want to do is have an objective pair of eyes come in and view what you're doing and just tell you, right? So ideally, like, you show this objective pair of eyes, maybe it's like a mentor in a coaching program. You show them your metrics, what you've been doing, like what you've been spending your time doing, etc. With their objective viewpoint, they can tell you, like, the fuck are you doing? Like, it might be the case where they just tell you, no, that isn't the problem. The problem is that you just aren't doing the work. You've done 50 cold calls in the past month. The niche isn't the problem. It's not this random outside factor. It's not that your mom's annoying you. It's that you've done 50 cold calls in 30 days. Right, so that's number 2, pain avoidance. And number 3 is a concept that I got from Alex Hormozi called the savings jar. Okay, so I'm gonna explain for you here. Let's say that you have a jar, or let's say use this water bottle for example. Right, this is like your savings jar. So you have energy and you have time, right? And so what you can do is you can say no to other things. Like, let's say, like, I don't know, your family invites you on a trip for 6 days. If you say no to that, then you'll keep your savings, right? But if you're saying yes to something, like you say yes to a new business opportunity, or you say yes to like that family trip, then you're spending your savings jar on outside things. And what you want to do is say no to everything that isn't the main thing. Right? So let's say the main thing for you is building an agency. You want to kind of have delayed gratification to say no to that new business opportunity, to say no to that outing with your friends, to say no to that holiday, and just keep on saving up, and then spending all of your time and your energy, your savings, on the actual main thing, right? So ideally, what you do is you say no to everything else, and then you max out your savings jar, you spend it on the agency. Save it up, spend it on the agency, and just repeat and repeat and repeat. The best way that I've heard this been put is when you say yes to other things, you're saying no to the main thing. And when you say no to other things, you're actually saying yes to the main thing, right? So that's the third thing, is just the ability to say no, and the ability to keep on stacking these savings and spending them on the one thing that actually matters, which for you, I'm assuming, would be building your agency, right? So having the ability to say like no to, for example, like for me, there's a hike that's going on tomorrow, and it's like with this group of guys I'm really good friends with. I'm saying no to it so that I can save my savings and spend that time and energy on actually moving the needle with the big thing, which is for me, my coaching stuff, right? And so it's really that ability to be conscious and to rationally think, right? If you can rationally think, and instead of just saying like, oh yeah, that sounds so cool, instead of that, if you can rationally think every time about the savings jar and think, okay, if I'm doing this, what am I doing? Am I saying yes to an external thing and therefore taking away from my savings jar of time and energy and putting that time and energy towards something else that isn't the main thing? Or if I say no, will I increase my savings jar, which I can then spend on the main thing? Right? That's the third thing, and it's really important. And like that kind of analogy of that savings jar and saving your time and energy and only kind of putting it into the main thing is going to really help you. Okay, so that's 3 things, but the title of this video is 3.5, right? And so it's kind of weird, like, why would I title it that? There is a reason, okay? And the reason that I have here and that I've kind of thought of is that these 3 things, which were, if you go over them again, it was pain avoidance, right? Literally just like avoiding the pain instead of going towards it. It was delusion, so just like not actually thinking straight and being incredibly irrational to hide from the pain. And number 3 was the savings jar, right? Spending your savings on things that aren't the main thing. These 3 things are actually all the same thing, which is why I've called this 3.5. All this is 3 different forms of resistance. And the way that I like to kind of think about resistance is that you have your current self. So let's just make this very easy. Let's say that you have you right now at 0K per month and your goal is 10K per month, right? Very easy. You have your current self at 0K per month, and then you have who you want to be at 10K per month, right? And so to hit 10K per month, it's not about taking this person to 10K per month. It's about becoming this person at 10K per month. So if you can become the type of person to make 10K per month, you hit 10K per month as the byproduct, right? So you should be focusing on that personal growth of becoming the person that can hit 10K per month. And then from that, you hit 10K per month as the byproduct, right? So resistance, if we look at these 2 people, resistance comes from this person, the current self. Because to become this person, the person who can, you have to kill this person. So obviously this person, like your current self, has a survival instinct and, evolutionarily it wants to survive, right? So this current self will throw things at you, like these 2 things, pain avoidance, delusion, and saying yes to other things, to stop you from becoming this person, right? Your current self manifests this resistance and it's up to you to beat it. And the only really weapon that you have against resistance is doing the actual hard work, right? So resistance will come at you with these 3 things and with a barrage of other things. And the only thing you can do is do the needle moving work. Because at the end of the day, the way that you're going to become this person is by doing things in alignment with this person and out of alignment with your old self, right? Your old self wants to go play video games, watch porn, eat junk food. The person that you want to be is disciplined and is doing the right thing. So to become this person, you have to act in alignment with this person and act out of alignment with this person. And so this person is going to give resistance to that, because if you're doing things out of alignment with it, you're killing it off and you're becoming this person, right? So that's all this is. It's just your current self trying to keep itself alive and stop you from evolving. Right? So when you can see it from that lens, you know that all the doubt you face, all the delusion, everything else, it's complete bullshit, and it's just your current self trying to stay alive. So with that in mind, you can be 100% confident that you're on the right path. If you're feeling resistance, it's a good thing, because that means your current self is trying to keep itself alive, which means you're actively killing it and you're actively becoming this new person, right? So just by facing resistance, you know that you're doing the right thing, and the only way to overcome it is by doing the needle moving work. Okay, so I hope you found that valuable. Obviously, if you did, do all the YouTube shit, like, comment, subscribe. And if you are an early stage agency owner, meaning you're making between 0 and 5K per month, then the first link in the description is for you. And then under that, we have a school community for basically all agency owners. And one last thing, if you watched to the end of this video, this has been like, what, maybe it's like 12, 11, 13 minutes, however long it is, you already have a top 1% attention span. Like, the majority of people are doom scrolling on TikTok, on IG Reels, on YouTube Shorts and all that shit. You've just watched a video, 13 minutes, 12 minutes, however long, on something that you don't want to talk about, right? If you're facing resistance, like naturally, you don't want to watch a video about it, because once again, it's painful to kind of bring it up. So you've been able to watch like an educational video about the thing that your current self doesn't want to hear. So you're already doing the right thing. Okay? So I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.